Your first question is, what is the purpose of you participating in the hybrid program? The first thing that comes to mind.
The DNA bloodline that I bring.
Speaking loud and clear.
The DNA bloodline that I bring.
A bloodline that you bring.
It is connected all the way to the very great masters of the beginning of time.
Okay.
Oh.
More about that information. Why are they? Why are they involved in it?
I don't want to say it, but Merovingian.
Merovingi line? You're from the Merovingi line.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm seeing Michelangelo. I'm seeing Michelangelo and his artwork and bloodlines that were connected with England and the king and the queen.
Okay.
With the nobles in Rome.
So with this Merovingi line, is it the most important hybrid line, or is it just one of the many, or what is it?
It got mixed. What happened is that Leonardo da Vinci embodies what they call a Jesus Christ bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
And he embodied that bloodline, and it began to get mixed with royalty. Royalty is hybrid blood, which is combined with Reptilian and Pleiadian bloodline.
Okay.
And so what they wanted to do was mix it. So they did everything possible to try to mix it with Da Vinci, because he embodied that bloodline, that fractal of the Jesus Christ soul energy. Jesus Christ has some kind of high vibration energy that's not connected to the planet.
Okay.
Particularly, it just ascends from source of some sort.
Okay.
And that information was distributed into great masters on the planet. Oh. And so Da Vinci embodies this bloodline, this fractal of soul, and the royalty, and of course the Illuminati in Rome, who is mixed with the reptilian bloodline as well as the center of the earth bloodline.
Now, was this whose plan was this to do all this mixing?
The ones that come in the triangle ship.
Okay.
They're reptilians, but these are what they call master reptilians, not regular reptilians. Master reptilians.
Master reptilians, okay.
The master reptilians are genetic masters who play with DNA. They play with DNA for centuries in different galactic representations of life.
Mm-hmm. And what is the purpose? Is this purpose the self or purpose for others?
Purpose of self.
Okay.
They do genetic combinations to try to extract soul energy into their bloodlines. They have tried for a very long time, but they were not able to, so they had to create their own type of souls that is based on artificial intelligence, basically, AI.
Okay. So they do not have a soul.
They have an essence, a liquid, that's called goo, what we know as goo, taken from the center of their own planet. They come from some kind of a red planet. And so this goo substance is life force, which feeds them. This goo is like an antenna that takes energy from the sun of that solar system. And as it does, it transports this information into their DNA bloodline. It's almost as if that is a mothership, and they are the projections of that life force in physical form or holographic form, either way.
Okay. And is there a particular group of people that they choose? Is is it only the Merovingi line that they...
The Merovingi line is actually the product of mixing the Christ line with Pleiadian and Reptilian line. And from that mixture, pure source Jesus line came and was mixed with Pleiadian, with Reptilian. Pleiadians, which came into England, which came into Russia, which came into the Nordic, from the Nordic side of the continent.
Uh-huh.
The red line is the Jewish bloodline, which comes from the beings of the center of the earth. They are the ones that come and create the matrix illusion.
Who are they called?
They come and they create the matrix illusion on top of the planet Earth.
Who are they that come? What is their name?
It's bloodline. They are a race of people. A race of... They belong...
Is it Agarthan or someone else?
They were made to believe that they were Agarthan, but they're not. The Agarthans are another race that live within, that dwell within planets. They reside here on this planet as well, in a different dimension, but they are not the Jewish bloodline.
They are not the Jewish.
The Jewish bloodline is a very specific blood energy. They are the ones that, they are builders of the matrix, builders of illusion. They manage all the natural resources on planet. They manage the financial systems. They manage everything on the planet. And as they create everything around, they work together with these other races, the red, the blue Pleiadian line and the Reptilian line. The Reptilian line.
Can you describe what the blue Pleiadian line looks like?
Well, it's a blue energy that comes, and all Pleiadians have this blue light within them. This blue, it's like a blood. That's where the name of blue blood came from. But the problem is that it was mixed with Christ. When that blue bloodline is mixed with Christ, then the masters came in. Those divine masters of all kinds of art, all kinds of things. But the blue bloodline is also distributed amongst many humans here on this planet.
And blue bloodline, to understand, the blue bloodline and the Merovingi line are surface to self for the groups that put the matrix together.
No, they are not. They are separate.
They're separate?
Da Vinci embodies the essence of Jesus, as well as other masters within classical, like Beethoven, like Bach, like other artists such as those great masters like let's say E equals MC square, like Kais,
Einstein,
like
Tesla.
Einstein, like Tesla, like Kais.
I see. Okay.
Like, I can see him. The Russian guy that had magical powers that worked with the Tsar. They were all aspects of Christ light. They were fractals of his pure energy source that was combined with Pleiadian light. Okay, but the problem is that that bloodline was mixed in one way or another in some kind of covert manipulations of DNA. They abducted them, and they also created images of females or men to come in and mix with them to create children. But they were all from the Reptilian line or from the center earth, the Jewish line. So that's how the blood started to get diluted. They knew, but they themselves did not understand what was happening. They didn't understand that they held this Christ energy within them, this pure source energy.
So, is this just one hybrid program, or are there many? Or what
This is one hybrid program, but this is the birth of all hybrid programs.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The origin of our human race originated in Mesopotamia, as we know, with the Nephilim, with all those races that came in.
Mm-hmm.
But as we evolved into the cities, the states, the matrix was being created and expanded over the planet, taking over ancient civilizations over time, clearing out old bloodlines that did not hold the power of what they wanted, right? They needed to mix that blood with races like reptilians, like Pleiadians. They wanted to mix that blood, not just with them, many other different races, but in order to manipulate. Blood is information, so anytime a being contains a certain blood, they have a connection to that solar system, a connection to that race. So this is their way of manipulating and controlling and creating whatever they need to create on the planet. So during that time, all the manipulation and governmental moves that have been created during that time to move and change things are all service to self, to those races within a certain agenda of absorbing and feeding off Christ energy, of absorbing and feeding off soul energy.
Is that any particular blood type, or is that the DNA?
It's the DNA.
The DNA.
Blood type has some information. What the blood type actually means is the thickness of information and the accessibility to information. Some are more accessible than others. Rh negative represents more accessible blood, but it doesn't mean that it's not with mixed other DNA. The DNA has not been understood by anyone here yet. It's such a complex substance with information beyond our comprehension. We don't have the tools and the technology to read what it holds here on this planet yet.
Mm-hmm.
But other races do. The complete blood is what holds all the history, and it all records everything. It's all there within that blood.
Okay. So concerning Geraldine and the life that she is living in this life, who and what was her hybrid program and her children? We'd like to talk about her children and where they're at.
She was involved in 3 different agendas. That's why she can only see one of them.
Okay.
One agenda was the Pleiadian agenda. So there were hybrid children with Pleiadians, trying to create light workers here, additional light workers on the planet.
Okay.
The second one was done with reptilians, which were the mother reptiles, the ones that are the original reptiles. So they wanted to take a piece of that bloodline, which originates in the Merovingi, and they have been done over many lifetimes using her same blood.
With her for
Yes.
so many lifetimes.
Correct.
Okay.
And in this lifetime, they took those 7 children from that bloodline, and they created with that reptilian, ancient reptilian, the mother reptiles, the ones that come from that red planet. So they are the ones that created those, and those are not, they're creatures that we cannot possibly comprehend, but they hold this DNA, and they are working on other planets a lot of times as slaves and not doing things that we consider to be good at all. So they are, it's not that they are necessarily low vibration, but they assist in the feeding of these reptiles. They assist in the harvesting of humans in order to feed through cloaking. These are multidimensional beings that cloak. That's why they're not accessible.
They're not extraterrestrials, they're not multidimensional?
They are multidimensional, but they can manifest into whatever they want to appear as. They cloak themselves in order to serve.
Can they all,
like
do they
soldiers.
also have spaceships?
Yes, they are like super soldiers, but for them, basically. brainwashed, manipulated, and used to do work.
You speaking of super soldiers, is that part of what they want to do with the hybrid children? Is make them more super soldiers?
Correct. All blood information is information, divine information that can be manipulated at any time. So these different races are creating super soldiers using this blood so that they can manipulate, change, move around, do anything that they want to do with it. That is their way of manipulating and harvesting their needs. And they go to many different planets to do so.
So with this manipulation that they're doing, what is their ultimate goal?
The ultimate goal is to survive and thrive in some kind of a universal war amongst different races.
A universal...
Like a war against different races.
A war against different races.
Each one of these races, including this reptilian mother line, which is so expansive we have no idea. It's like a fog within the universe that takes over many different planets. Source humans are separate from that. They do not feed. They self-sustain. And they are creators of things. These reptilians do not have the ability to create and manifest in that form. That's why they can only use genetics and their information, genetics and their ability to mix bloods, genetics and technology, just the way humans here want to focus on science and technology on a universal scale. They focus on that because that is their only way of creating things.
So these 6 children, will you ever see them again, or are they basically not really your children, they just used your DNA?
They use my DNA. Those are not things that I would really even want to be connected to, because we cannot comprehend what they do. It's beyond our comprehension here.
Mm-hmm.
They are like harvesters.
Harvesters, okay. Are these harvesters or these reptilians, the interdimensional, working with any group on Earth of humans?
Yes, the political group, the financial group. That's why they are blended with the Middle Earth, with the Jew line, with the Jew bloodline.
I see.
The Middle Earth bloodline is a type of reptile that is shorter, thicker beings. They are more like a dragon type of being.
Uh-huh.
They're not like reptiles that we think. They have tails and they have horns.
Are they draconians?
Draconian is a little bit different. Draconian is from a different planet. These are some kind of dragon-ish type of beings, but they are shorter with tails, with horns.
Their residence is here.
The residence is center Earth.
Center Earth.
But what I mean by that is that they are like, they take over the planets. Okay, they dwell. They're like inner Earth dwellers.
Uh-huh.
Once they get in, it's like a virus, and the mother reptilians know that, so they use them in many different planets to create matrices, holographic matrices. They use them to manipulate the earth, the minerals, and the resources of that planet, to design around the resources of that planet in order to manipulate and create. As I said, the reptilians cannot create, cannot manifest, so they have to use the tools available to them. So they manage this Jew line, as we call them.
Because they manage them.
They manage the matrix, they manage the money, they manage the resources of a planet. And without them, they wouldn't be able to create the matrix hologram that they have created on this planet.
So the reptilians are creating the matrix.
Correct. They manipulate these inner Earth Jew bloodline to create the matrix.
Okay. And your other children, would you like to talk about them, or is there something else about this you'd like to get more information on? Do you want to talk a little bit more about the races of the reptilian? There are reptilian types, such as Ayano.
Yes.
You saw Ayano.
He comes from a higher vibration.
He
comes from a higher vibration reptilian.
Do you know what planet?
T something. T something.
T something.
T13.
Okay. T13.
T13.
Okay.
It is like a greenish light blue planet. A little bit like Earth, but more Earth-like. They are.
What is the terrain like?
The terrain?
The terrain?
It's very green.
Mountain, it's green.
Oh, it's
green?
very lush.
It's very lush.
It's lush, like jungle-ish kind, but I can see water, skies, clouds, volcanoes. So, it's like almost as if dinosaurs would live there, but it's a reptilian race.
And why are they here?
Here to assist in pulling out. They are a cousin race to the other reptilians.
They are a cousin?
They are a cousin, but they are a higher vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And so they assist and save any kind of reptiles that are... So, okay, I see how it is. Like how humans, how us, source essences, we have seekers to help save our humans here on this planet.
Uh-huh.
Ayano is like a seeker for the reptilian races that comes to pull out reptilians from darker vibrations, lower vibrations. They have their own ascension cycle, just that like we do. Oh, okay, I see. All races have ascension cycles like us.
Uh-huh.
So reptiles have their own cycles, and Ayano is a very much higher vibration. He used to be a human many centuries ago, many light years ago.
Yes.
He was a human, yeah.
I knew him then.
Yes.
Too. Okay, and
you guys lived in a white, beautiful civilization with water back then.
mm-hmm. So now, going on to your children, your Pleiadian hybrids. You said you were in 3 different hybrid programs.
The second hybrid program is a dark one.
Okay.
And this is where they stopped the visions. This is the ones that they don't want me to see. This is done with reptilians as well, but blending things. These ones are actually connected to the same reptilians here on this planet that play with genetics.
Uh-huh. And
I can see similar to my lab. It's similar to my lab, but done above Earth.
It's similar to what?
To my lab.
To my lab, I see.
But it's done above Earth. It's not done here.
Planet?
Yeah, it's not done in this planet.
Okay.
But the same type of work, so dark. I am seeing a place with tunnels, with green
tunnels?
lighting.
Uh-huh.
But it's inside a ship. It's not planet Earth. And I am seeing that they are connected to the government.
Okay.
They're connected to Trump. Trump is a reptilian too. Trump is a reptilian too.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a false image of what we believe.
He is a false image of what?
What we believe him to be.
Yes.
Oh, gosh. He looks like he's here to do good And a lot of us believe that he will. But that's not really the deep, dark truth. When we look deeper, deeper into the history, when we look in the future, it will all make sense to us. He is here to manipulate certain timelines, which may look beneficial for now, but when we disappear, the truth of his work will come out. We're not quite ready to see that yet.
Okay. And then the third hybrid program is the Pleiadian program?
The third hybrid program is the Pleiadian program.
And how many channels you have there?
8.
8. And when will you be able to see them again? Or have you seen them lately? And what would it take for you to be able to see them? What do you need to do in order to see them and connect with them?
You will see them soon.
You'll see them soon.
Not necessarily in this lifetime, though, but you are interdimensional as well.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go up to other dimensions, then you'll see them. You need to practice going into those dimensions and make time to do so.
Is that astral travel?
It's not, it's multidimensional travel.
Okay.
You are within dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
You create portals by certain combinations of energies that you have around you, even crystals, and you can use those to travel interdimensionally. She does this, but she doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So at night, when she doesn't sleep, she's interdimensionally traveling, so she can see different timelines available, finishing any kind of missing things that need to be fixed.
Okay. And what do you need to do to be ready for moving off this planet? No more reincarnation. Ending the reincarnation cycle. What do you need to do?
You keep getting overwhelmed by emotions. You keep getting overwhelmed by the reality of this. You need to integrate what you've received and just use that to move forward. You need to accept everything that's happened. Pain, you know, is part of this planet, part of this illusion. You keep trying to connect with that pain and feel that pain and experience that pain, and it's not helping you get through this. You need to just let go of the fact that a regular life is not possible.
That a regular life is impossible.
Correct.
So what kind of a life are you supposed to live?
It's a constant interdimensional life, so you're not going to be connected to everything around you all the time. You can't. You have to protect yourself.
I see. Yes.
And you signed up for this, so...
You signed up for this. So
signed
go
up for
into
this.
detail about that. How did that happen? How did you sign up? Where did you sign up from?
In a planet far away. When you first... There was an agreement made with the son of someone that managed DNA, and it got intertwined with someone that you knew within your bloodline. In other planets, they only talk about each other as bloodlines, not as families. Bloodlines are what make a family, and it can be as extensive as centuries. We try to mimic that kind of thought form here, but it doesn't come anywhere near as deep and far as it does in other civilizations. So the reptilian that was in charge of things at that time was manipulating bloodlines with your ancient ancestors, and you didn't want that to happen because it was for service to the mother reptiles. So you made an agreement to come to Earth and help assist and get them out of that cycle, out of that painful reptilian connection. And the only way to do that is by assisting others in transforming their own vibrational alignment. You didn't want to continue creating, mixing blood here on this planet. The illusion is not only created for illusion and for feeding off energy, but also to create an illusion of hybridization here on this planet. Humans think that they are partnering with their loved ones to create children, but what they're doing is they're also participating in the hybridization program without them thinking. They are partnered with partners with bloodlines for a specific reason, and everyone is involved in the hybridization program whether they like it or not. It's just that this is happening here on this planet. All the procreation is a part of that. It's an active program. So when you come here and you choose not to have children, you just chose not to participate in that particular hybridization program. We decided to participate in other hybridization programs because in a way we are somehow slaves of systems in that dynamic as well, in those dimensions. Leaving the matrix means leaving not only this hybridization program, but all hybridization programs around the universe. It's not just a matter of breaking contracts with them, it's a matter of breaking all contracts from the Akashic records. All contracts. It requires heavy work. That's why a regular life is not possible. That kind of work has to be done in silence, regression, working, dissolving, destroying all contracts. And one life is often not enough. If you are here as a seeker, you've done work before, so you are working, but you're not done, so you're here to continue that work.
And how are you supposed to do it? What is the process that you need to do?
You have to dig inside of your memory, first clean out the memory here in this lifetime, destroy all the contracts with your network here. And then you have to go further through all your lifetimes, destroying all the contracts, any programs that were programmed within your bloodline, within your DNA, all the way back to the origin of your creation of self. And that's many lifetimes. The thing is that what we are destroying, the contractual agreements, are always based on the 7 basic manipulations, the 7 basic energy centers of each being, which we know as the chakra systems. Each one of those chakra systems withhold an organized information as to the aspect of the self, of the human self. So each one of these contracts are based on one of these 7 selves. If you heal the contract within one chakra, you are healing the majority of those contractual agreements within that chakra information. They are based within those same 7 selves. The 7 bodies of a human has 7 histories, 7 banks of life, 7 sections of life, I guess you could say. Each one of those have to be cleansed, purified, and destroyed.
And how do you need to do this?
Through regression again, through our memories in this lifetime, we come in and we destroy all of the past, all of those entangled programs that you are created. Everything that makes you who you are will become basically destroyed, must dissolve. All of the identity of who you are and everything we hold on to as an identity must be destroyed. Because your identity comes from perceptions which are limited only to this particular reality. It's an illusion because it represents and mirrors all illusions and realities in the universe, multidimensionally. So at the same time as you are living this illusion here, you are multidimensionally living in other dimensions, that same experience. So when you suffer here with an experience, you take on a program. When you heal that program, you're healing the same thing in other dimensions at the same time.
Besides regression, what is the other processes that need to be done? Is there any physical?
Well,
any
I mean,
particular
through
meditations?
meditation, we have to regress, question those emotions, heal the emotions, transform the programming. And when you transform with intention, you are transforming blood, your DNA. You are transforming information. We don't realize that blood is just like water. Water is the blood of this planet. So that holds within it information. It takes on whatever intention you give it. Your blood is a convoluted cycle of information that needs to be cleansed and purified. So it's like a detoxing of the mind, soul, all three bodies of yourself. Your earth self, your higher self, and the multidimensional bodies that surround you all must be purified in the same form through meditation, through cleansing and reviewing of all those programs that were created and transforming them consciously. That will reprogram you now to leave open space for what else you need to do the rest of your lives.
Is there more people in this mission that you have?
Yes, there are. They are awakening to it little by little. There are many seekers on the planet, but we need to hurry.
Why do we need to hurry?
Because vibrations are changing quicker than we believe.
Vibrations are changing because what?
They're changing quicker than we believe.
And this is due to?
The government program is using their earth technology to change the vibration of the planet in combination with other races, with the reptilian mother races. What we believe is CERN is actually to change vibration, and they manipulate timelines in that way. They use it to change vibrations of the planet so they can manipulate overall mass timelines. And right now there are several races working at the same time to manipulate these timelines, and there will be much elimination. They are desperately trying to start something to create this mass elimination. When they create mass elimination, the soul goes into the reincarnation cycle, in which they can take, and depending on the contractual agreements of each human, they either own them or they manipulate their blood, depending on how they need to reallocate that energy. That's why they tried to cause death here, to the humans here. While we're here, we're actually have a choice to be able to get out of the cycle. So we think that Earth is to sleep and to wake up, but it's like desperately coming in above the illusion as well in the overall matrix of the universe. When we are in the ethers, when we are above in our soul embodiment, because of the contractual agreements that we've been doing through many lifetimes, some of us are trapped and enslaved to races, to certain alien bloodlines. So in order to be able to return to source, we must undo all of those enlacements with those bloodlines and with those races.
And this is the regression and the work that you told her about.
Yes, this is very necessary, and everyone is understanding how to do that, but slowly it's being slowed down by everything around you. Of course, the entire matrix system. But right now, we are going to start understanding what it is to do time travel and everything, but that's already been done, and what that means is the manipulation of timelines here that they're doing on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
In order to eliminate and be more in control with all this DNA. DNA is like, it's information. The way that we have Bitcoin here It's like a cyber money. It's like our DNA is cyber money to them. Wherever we are allocated, that's how their universal war is occurring and using, and that's how they gain power over things.
The DNA is everything. And the DNA is part of what is sold on the market, and
Yes.
And you were sick in 2007, 2008. Why were you sick? What was the reason for that?
I have to tell you what I see first.
What do you see?
I have to tell you what I see first.
Okay, what do you see?
What I see is terrible.
What is that?
What they're doing, manipulating, and I don't know how, but they are using the weather controlling things to emit this nanotechnology into bodies of people. And that's how they control people, with illness and with elimination of humans.
To the nanotechnology.
To the nanotechnology. But the problem is that nanotechnology is merging in with the physical mass of the humans and then going into the blood. That's their point. That's how they create the genetic alterations. And when they do that, they're forced to maintain this information within their blood that allows them to become subject to be controlled by those particular races. Right now, it's like a silent war against this mother reptilian line, and the red bloodline from the center of the earth, from the Matrix creators, and some Pleiadians also. The thing is that other alien races are not so deep within the genetic. They haven't understood how this currency in the universe works. And also some of them are higher vibration. But nobody is as high as Source. Source is a complete different energy on its own. It's a dual. That's why it's a duality. So here on Earth, they are manipulating the weather. We think it's just the weather. But as I'm telling you, it's a manipulation of DNA. And CERN is actually a portal that helps bring in more of that information, that nanotechnology into this planet. Every time that they utilize and open that portal, all humans are shifted within another vibration. And they are splitting the dimensions into many different dimensions. We were only supposed to be going into a 5th dimension, but we are now going into 4.7, 4.8, 4.9, 4.10. They split the dimensions with that
CERN?
machine.
Machine at CERN.
But CERN is connected to all the other vibratory machines here on this planet, and they are connecting and shifting vibrationally. Trump is included, Obama is included. The entire governmental system are just facades to the back of that, which is the upper government above all of that.
What about the military?
The military is part of it completely. And as they operate these MyLab,
What is that? What are you seeing?
the military is like gray aliens, like small gray aliens to the aliens. They are brainwashed and they are manipulated in order to serve as servants in preparing the grounds for all of this. All they do is carry out what the dark government that we don't know is actually the mother reptilian races. These mother reptilian races, that is who the dark government is. And that's who is managing and manipulating the monopoly of government in this world.
And the military?
And the military just carries out whatever they need.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have sight of the other side of this.
So what can humanity do about this?
Leave the cycle as fast as possible.
Leave the cycle?
Mm-hmm.
In what way do you leave the cycle?
Leave the reincarnation cycle.
How do you do that?
Break all the contracts, purify the blood, the DNA of information, all programs, all attachments, all embodiments, all of this illusion self, and then do that for all the other lives. It seems like a tremendous amount of work.
It does.
But it can be done, and it has to be focused.
And how can Geraldine help others in this? What is her?
She's already doing it, but it's too small. It's one person at a time. And people don't get it. They don't understand this. I think
The urgency.
Yes, I think this has to be shown, and so they understand the urgency, because people take it like a healing session for a one time, and they might do it maybe 3-4 times, but it has to be constant work.
Will we receive help? Will humanity, Earth, humans, receive help from the Federation in any way, shape, or form? Will they be able to? We hear about the ascension coming. Is there a change in the frequency? What can we hope to have help with from the Federation of other planets?
The reason why the Federation is because they are a future embodiment of. They've seen the future. They've been in the future, and that's why they're here, to assist us in remembering what to do, which is this. The thing is that as we are here living our lives in this dimension, the reason why everyone is saying that this is such an important time is because it's within this window of time that we have to cycle out of the reincarnation cycle. The Federation is a combination of different races from the galaxies, but they are almost like a hologram of what they are. Their true selves lie in a future vibration far away from all of this, when all of this was healed. So they are a hologram of that to us.
So they don't actually come here?
They do, but they're in a holographic form.
Okay.
To assist us in remembering quick and assist us in changing all of this. But the truth is that they are governed by a shadow government as well. Okay, within this dimension. It's like
they have to obey the rules of
they
the shadow
do.
government.
Yes, they have limitations.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm saying, every race has a different scale of evolution. So do they. The thing with source and soul, there's very few planets in this universe that maintain the source soul. That's why this is one of the planets, and the Federation knows of all of them, and that's why they come from the future to assist in remembering, but they are limited within their work. Otherwise, they would have came to change everything already. They are powerful, but that's not the way it works. It's like a stair, it's like a ladder of different of a hierarchy of energy, of vibrations. And right now, the ones that are in charge are just like that. The shadow government, the reptilian, the dark reptilians, the mother reptilians. Just like on our planet.
Geraldine has more questions now that she would like her higher self to tell her about, which is 2008, the sickness, What was that?
She was inserted with a blue substance in her body that manipulated all of her ability to connect with herself for the next 6 years. And this blockage was to stall any kind of spiritual progression within herself. It was entered intravenous through her throat inside of her body and connected this physical body, this projection of the physical body up into the mothership. So it was almost as if some kind of embodiment of an entity being, but it is like a life substance that has its own consciousness. And it is usually utilized in the procreation of the hybrid children for this dark, very, very dark agenda, which we spoke of previously. The reason why I put that in the body is in order to make her go through very intense manipulations of the body within the planet so that she can program the blood in a certain way.
And this is the purpose of this, is to
manipulate and to monitor the body for the hybrid children that are about to be created. The hybrid children that she created during those 6 years are very deeply, severely low vibration. And if a human were to have that, it would die. It is required for the person to have this kind of a protective sleeve inside of the body to manage and manipulate all energies within that space.
And the reason they did this was because of the Merovinci line that she has?
Yes, her embodiment of the Merovinci line that she carries, but that's not the important thing. It's her Merovinci awakening, or during that time, that source energy coming in to float through all these lifetimes and recycling. In this lifetime, she finally connected dots that she wasn't able to connect in other lifetimes.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she's able to remember all of this now. And of course, during this very small window of time, to remind others of what's occurring quickly during this vibrational shift.
Anything else you'd like to tell her about this particular time and what went on?
She will never be able to see those children because they are nothing she can comprehend, or anyone here can comprehend. They are multidimensional beings that hold low vibration and are used to feed and harvest other humans.
Mm-hmm.
They require that bloodline in order to navigate within many dimensions, within many planets. The reason why they use a cocktail of blood is so that they can manipulate many different planets and bloodlines. That's the whole point. It's information. Without that drop of information, they wouldn't be able to assimilate and shift as needed.
How can they be stopped?
The more people that leave the matrix, well, we have to ascend quicker leaving the matrix. When we leave the matrix, we are given one more choice. The choice that we take has to be in the higher vibrations of the future, not of this time. If we are higher vibrations of the future, we have a choice to be outside of the manipulated bloodlines of the matrix universe and work under the Christ-like fractals of Source. The Christ-like fractals of Source come here to assist in the vibration manipulations and raising of consciousness, of blood transformation. So when we leave the matrix, we have a choice of whether we want to assist But that choice is very tricky because at any time you can come back right into the cycle again.
Why did Geraldine's 8 hybrids want to come to this timeline?
All of this life was an agreement. This entire life, it's like a deja vu of what happened before. The 8 that she merged with the Pleiadians are to assist in carrying out when she leaves the matrix. Okay, those are the higher vibrational future beings that are here. She agreed to those in order to assist as fractals of herself. When we leave the matrix, we have a choice to come back, and that is one way to do it. You come back and you mix with higher vibrational bloodlines. That's how we procreate to heal. However, she was basically abused by, not abused, but she was forcefully taken to be participant of the other 2 agendas within this lifetime. The second one was the most horrific one that she was not supposed to be in, but she didn't have a choice at that point. Whoever was there that was supposed to be protecting her was not there at that moment.
Who is protecting her now?
Within the illusion of this matrix, she works with the Council of 8. That's actually who she is. She protects herself.
And who is she in the
From
Council of 8?
Source. She is Alcyone. Alcyone is a representative of the future for the Pleiadian race.
Can you give her a look at the council?
Yes.
I think she'd like to see them very clearly, very clearly. The Council of 8. Do they represent the council that represent different planetary systems, different races?
Yes. There's 8 races.
What are the races?
There's a Reptilian. There is a Mantis. There is a Lyrian. There is a Nordic. There's a Nordic male that is a giant Nordic male, and a female that is Nordic but a different. Represents a Nordic race of all women. It's all a women race. There is a shorter, tiny little being that looks like a being, a little tiny being.
Tiny. Smaller
Very
than
small.
grays.
Like the size of a gray, but round being.
Okay.
There is a tall gray, and there is a humanoid.
Another humanoid. A humanoid? A human as an earth humanoid or just humanoid?
They are Aztec.
Aztec.
But they come from a planet which we think are like American Indians, but that's actually a whole race. They're actually an entire race of indigenous. That's what they look like to us, but they're a race. They manage earth alchemy. And there is a very tall being, about 14 feet.
Does Geraldine have an immediate guide that she can call on at all times?
No. She works with herself in her higher dimension only.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to tell Geraldine? Give her information that she's been asking for. you know all the questions that she has. Are there any more that she'd like to know?
Just trust yourself and be careful.
Trust yourself and be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and she knows what that means.
Yeah, just be careful in these realms. Oh.
Be careful in her dreams.
Be careful in these realms of
These realms. Okay.
information.
Mm-hmm.
And be careful with the time, with mixing with people within this community, because some are not in the light,
Mm-hmm.
per se. Some are working in the darkness. And sometimes they make these groups of people, large groups. That way they can see who they're working with next.
Mm-hmm.
So be careful, cloak, always cloak. And the same for you, Misha.
Always protect ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Always cloak. Yeah. Anything else that you'd like to? Any questions you'd like to ask your higher self? Geraldine?
What's my next step? What's my next step with what I'm doing? How do I reach more people? You're being lazy, you're not doing, you're afraid, but now you removed fear, but you feel like you're overwhelmed. You cannot be overwhelmed. You have to remember vividly that the purpose is to help and to do what you're supposed to do here. Don't be overwhelmed. Don't be fearful of people and connecting with people. That's an illusion that is instilled in you, so you cannot heal other people. Empower yourself with what you need and stop pretending that you want to hide, because that's not right.
Mm-hmm.
Just speak what you need to speak. When you speak, it's vibrational. It's not just what you're saying. That's how you affect other people. And don't be lonely. Let go of the illusion of loneliness. That's actually not your loneliness. That's someone else putting that on you. And you feed into it. So you need to work on your protection.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does she have all the tools that she needs?
Yeah, she does. She just doesn't believe in herself sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's all.
Anything else? Or is that all?
That's all.